Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, what I'm going to be doing is sharing with you one of the most powerful techniques that I have found for being able to change subconscious beliefs that a lot of times are in our mind that come from other people. And it's the idea that our beliefs are creating our reality. They are shaping the way we see the world, and it has an effect on the kind of life experiences we have. Now, when we become aware of this, one of the next steps that's really a beneficial thing is to become aware of what we believe to be true. Now, because a lot of what we believe to be true is on autopilot, it's just simply the way we see the world, sometimes it's kind of blind to us. It's kind of hard for us to see that that is a belief because we more have just thought that that is an actual fact. That is the way things are. Now, when we become aware of this, we can then start to look at our life in a new way. And we can see that a lot of what we experience comes from beliefs that we attained when we were young, and a lot of times between the ages of like being born to about the age of 12, a lot of our beliefs, subconscious beliefs, are starting to form. Now that's because when we're that young, our brain is constantly in what is called a theta state. A theta state is one of the deepest levels of like brainwave activity, and that's when it's most susceptible to influence. So the way that we can get to the point of not having the beliefs be so like redundant in our life, or is the first part of it, is just simply becoming aware of what those beliefs were. So what you might be able to do is to look at your past, and you may see that between this age and this age, you'll have certain memories that are very strong in your mind. Those memories that you have are going to be a lot of times the most powerful reference experiences that shaped the beliefs that you have. Sometimes you'll even have those beliefs today that maybe happened 20 years ago. So once we start asking ourselves the question, what would I have to believe is true to experience this in my life? Then we start to get to the reference experience and to the memory that started to form that. And once we start to get to that point, that's when we start to actually pinpoint what that belief reference experience was, and then we can actually start the process. So we may have realized that maybe if we constantly create relationships in our life and we're constantly finding ourselves with a certain type of person, and this person, even though it might be different people, there's similar traits that they have. Well, if somebody isn't treating you right, you may be able to look back to a period in time of your life when either you weren't treated a certain way, and maybe you were talked down to by your parents, and maybe that influenced you to think you're not worthy, therefore it perpetuated a belief of unworthiness, or maybe you even saw your mom being treated a certain way, so you just kind of assume that's the way it is. That's how relationships work. You can then look at that belief. You can see that maybe the reason you get treated the way you do is because of that experience. Then what you can do is be grateful you had that experience. Now, why would I say something like that? Well, understand that one of the easiest ways to let something go is actually to let it go, you have to love it. Now, I know it seems counterintuitive, but once you actually start to treasure the fact that that could have been a learning lesson for you to take back your power, you start to be okay with it and allow it to be there, that's when you can actually let it go. Because sometimes the emotional attachment comes from not wanting it to be the way it is. I know me, for example, just to make a long story short, went through a lot of stuff growing up, had and was treated a certain way, and because of that, it made it so that I had a certain kind of overall belief about my past and what happened, and I could have taken a very negative meaning to that. But since I just looked at it, and I really do see it as a gift to me, because I had almost no freedom growing up, I got treated a certain way, always had to work outside, wasn't really allowed to have friends, up until a certain age. And then once I had that freedom, it was like, at first I got angry about it, but then years later I realized that it led to me really looking at life in a whole new way. And really, I believe it kind of sparked the idea of my inner awakening. Now, that's how I look at it, and because of that, it completely transformed the idea of the belief about being unworthy. Now, The process involves, first off, getting to the basis of what we believe to be true, looking at it, loving the situation, even if it was something negative, there can always be something to learn. Then from that point of view, what we then need to do is place of it, after we've let it go, we can decide what we prefer to believe. So we could be, I prefer to believe that I'm completely loved, that I'm somebody that's worthy, that doesn't need the validation of other people. And from that point, what we then need to do is start to act as if that were true. So start to take action from that point of view. So that could mean, for example, taking action on your passion. Because when you do what you're passionate about, that is an act of self-love. That is an act of worthiness. And as you begin to act in that way, and you begin to know that that is true for yourself, you literally begin to rewire yourself, change yourself from the inside going out. And then as you begin to change, then your reality will change. Do not wait for your reality to change for you to then feel the feeling of what you want. This is why feeling is such a powerful thing. When we get to the feeling of feeling what it is like to be loved, we start to focus on doing things that excite us. We start to feel and cultivate that feeling. That's when we start to influence the subconscious mind. Feelings influence the subconscious mind in a much more powerful way than thinking. So we start to close the circuit. So the first part is we become aware of the belief that is holding us back. The second part is that we simply learn to love the situation of whatever it was. We allow it to be there. We get the lesson from it. We let it go. The third part is we know and we behave as if that were true. And it is true now that we love ourselves, whatever the belief is. If it's, I want to be more abundant, you start to become a person who is abundant. You start to see yourself in that way. You start to imagine and feel the emotions of what an abundant person would feel like. That starts to become a part of you. And then the fourth part of it is you let it go and you realize that reality will not change until we first off let it be okay that we don't have to see the reflection. If we're telling ourselves and we're looking at a mirror and we're telling the mirror that I will change once my reflection changes, we'll be waiting there forever. But if we have no attachment to the outcome, we simply decide who we are in the moment and that we don't need to see the reflection right away, that's when it actually starts to happen. Because realize that there is an echo from the reality you were living in, and that echo may be there for a period of time. But the more you prove it to yourself that you don't need the reflection to be there first, that's when the change actually begins to happen. So this process is one of the most powerful processes that we can use for changing our subconscious beliefs. Understand that emotions and feelings get straight to the subconscious mind. You can even mix into this the idea of becoming more relaxed, because when you're in a relaxed state, you move from a beta state to an alpha, more of a theta state. Those brainwave activities, those states that we reach during just relaxation, even imagining, if you close your eyes and you use visualization, you're automatically moving into more of an alpha theta state. You then begin to have more profound power over your subconscious mind. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you are able to use this process. If you like, maybe I'll do a guided meditation using this process, or like a guided exercise that I've kind of done before. Let me know if you guys want me to do that, and if so, I will absolutely do it. As always, feel free to like this video. If you liked it, share it if you found it of value, and as always, I'll see you guys on the next vid. Peace, much love, and namaste. Okay, bye. See ya.